Cultural perspectives. Introduction. Dear students, we have been discussing about various problems so far in this subject. In this topic, we are going to look at these problems and their interconnection with the culture of the society. In modern times, we can see that our traditional customs are getting lost and new customs and culture is developing among the new generations. We also know that this is due to the influence of Western culture and ideas. This change in our traditional culture has resulted in many problems in our society. Hence, we will also learn about the various reasons for this change and also the problems arising because of this cultural change. So, dear students, I would want you all to think about the present cultural scenario in India and where it is taking us to. Do you think the culture has an impact on the social problems or vice versa? That means, do the social problems affect our culture? Let's discuss in detail about this and find a solution. What are the various issues related to this and are there any remedies? We will first see what is culture in general and then we will go forward with what culture means to Indians. We will also discuss about the reasons for change in culture and then in about the impact on various aspects of life. Meaning of culture. Culture refers to the total way of life of any society as a set of learned behaviors and ideas, including beliefs, attitudes, values and ideals that are characteristic of a particular society or other social group. Not all societies in the world have the similar culture. Culture helps us to behave in a particular manner in the society. Meaning and importance of culture in India. India is a land of multicultural. It is so because of the influence of many religions and invasions by outsiders. Indian culture is rich and diverse and as a result unique in its very own way. Our culture is also the oldest. Our culture is seen in our strong social system and family values. In India, we consider our elders as the head and who has authority and hence are respected and loved. It's only in Indian culture one can find that the guests are considered as gods and are treated with respect and love. Indians are considered the best for their hospitality. Indians are the only people who have deep-rooted rich values. We also know that India is a land of various religions and that we are religious at heart. This religion touches every corner of our society and also is connected with cultures and traditions of everyone. Each religion has its own culture and each member of that religion follows that particular culture. Indian culture, as said, has been influenced by so many factors that it contains a variety of things from other cultures also. Hence, the traditional Indian culture is a mixture of all other cultures that came into contact with. We know that over the years our culture has been undergoing changes and is still changing. So let us see what could be the reasons of this change. Causes for the change in the culture of India. We know that in olden times our culture was very traditional and it was very rigid also. But over the years or centuries there has been a change. This change could be because of many factors affecting it over the years. This change is not overnight, but has been a slow process and is ever changing according to the circumstances influencing it. This change can be referred to as cultural change. So we can say that a change that occurs in the beliefs, laws and actions of a culture is called a cultural change. Well, we know that when two or more cultures interact with each other, there is a chance of them getting influenced with each other and change in the original culture is bound to happen. In India, too, our traditional culture started getting affected because of the influence of Western ideas and culture. technology, diffusion of different cultures, migration, etc. We will see how each one of the factors affected the Indian culture. Influence of the rule of the British. The impact of the British rule and its influence changed the material and cultural circumstances in such a way that it led to a total transformation in the way of life of the people. The change brought about was not superficial but basic and permanent. It touched all the spheres of human life, like political, economical, social, religious, and cultural. The old traditional ideas and values were dispelled. They brought about a change in the old system of caste. Caste system was abolished and they brought the ideas of liberty and freedom for all. This brought down the practice of untouchability. Another remarkable change with the influence of British rule is that the Indians realized that education is a must for all the citizens. Influence of education. Education in India brought about changes in the mindset of people. It was during the British rule that education was given to all people irrespective of caste or creed. The educated people of India came into contact with different ideas and they started thinking about their aims and aspirations, higher values and principles. This led to the educated people questioning the old practices and cultures of India. They thought they were all very absurd and rigid and this had to be changed. Blind faith and superstitious beliefs gave way to critical thought and questioning mind. The acceptance of sufferings and miseries was replaced by conscious efforts to improve the living conditions for the better, making life progressive, secure, comfortable and happy. Influence of Western culture. Western culture has also influenced the Indian society. This could be because we Indians find the Western culture fascinating and our culture boring and very rigid. This change in culture due to the Western culture started with the rule of British, but it is only recently that India has been so much influenced by the West. It could be due to the fact that we have more contact with the West because of the improvements in technology and also because of more contact with them. The Western culture conveys and promotes the ideas and values of advanced civilization to the minds of the Indians. We are very soft at heart and get carried away by new ideas and customs, hereby bringing a drastic change to our existing culture. There are many good things found in the Western culture which we should inculcate, but as known, there are also negative things. We are more prone to get attracted to the negative aspects of the West and think that their way of life and culture is better than our age-old customs and traditions. We get carried away by the way they dress and behave in public and try to imitate them. This brings about a clash in our societies and brings about many problems. Impact of globalization. Due to globalization and modernization, the rich culture of India is disappearing. The Western culture is based more on materialistic factors and less on non-materialistic factors. Migration of people. Due to industrialization and education, people are migrating to cities and other countries. This migration of people is also helping in the fall of the culture of India. People come in contact with other people from other cultures and get influenced. They then try to incorporate some of the other cultures to their own. Effects of cultural change in India. As discussed some time back, our traditional culture is changing and it is becoming more like the Western culture. We also know why this change is taking place. It's only recently that one can see this drastic change in our society. At one point of time, we were very proud about our culture. And now we can say that India is and will slowly become like the West. We can see that this change has come in all spheres of life and is still changing as the new generations are coming up with their own ideas and values. effect and problems arising on the structure of the Indian society. Due to migration of people from rural areas to urban areas, people have changed their outlook of life. In modern India, one can see intercaste marriages happening. This is one positive change in the structure of caste system. Sometimes this has led to some problems for some people. In this type of marriages, the girls have to adjust to a new type of culture which sometimes they find it difficult to adjust to. In some cases, the society looks down at them if the partner is from a low caste. They have to face a lot of problem in their villages. Some women have so much problem get adjusted to the new culture of another caste that there arises fights among the partners, and in some cases we can see that divorces happening between them as they feel that they cannot adjust anymore. In the rural North India, there was a case where the boy from a lower caste married a girl from an upper caste. The couples faced a lot of problems from the girl's family, and finally the boy was killed. Such cruel things are happening even today's life. Can we digest such news? Even though caste is abolished and according to law everyone is equal, the society still follows the dictum of the caste system. Problems faced by the tribals. When the indigenous people or tribals come into contact with the outside people and their culture, they find the new culture different from theirs and they have what is called a cultural shock. This leads them into a feeling of being uprooted and feels disoriented. They start feeling frustrated and angry as they have to adapt to the new culture. They then try to imitate the new culture and try to fit in with the new culture and sometimes pick up the wrong or bad things of the new culture because of ignorance. Sometimes their hard work does not show any positive change to their economy, and they still struggle to increase their economic position in society. New education leads to people getting jobs outside their villages and they change their status. But for many, since they are uneducated, come to the city for work and then realize that it is very difficult to get work. They work on menial jobs and the life of the city gets on to him, and in some cases they turn to crime like theft, murder for material gain. In the end, it leads to their age-old customs and traditions changing and their traditional art form being in the process of extinction. Familial problems faced due to cultural change. This cultural change has affected the traditional values of family. This has brought about many problems. Nuclear or single parent family. In olden times, one could see that there was joint family. Then due to industrialization and getting exposed to the Western culture, this joint family started disintegrating, and one can find nuclear family or single parent type of family. This weakens the relationships between family members. The feeling of belongingness or oneness between the members has changed. Hence, these days one can hear of fights between the siblings for a variety of reasons, mainly being distribution of property. This was not unheard of in olden days, as it was understood that the property was common to all. Problems faced by women. The status of women has also gone up now. They are considered at equal terms with their male counterparts. They have also started working outside their homes and have become independent. But this has resulted in burdening of women. They don't get much support to share their household chores. The physical and moral support which was provided by the joint family system is not available to her anymore. They also face the problem of inequality when compared to their counterparts at workplaces as well. They're being made to feel that they are subordinates. Dowry debts, again, yet another problem faced by the women. There is a rise in the death of women because of lack of dowry given to the groom's side during marriage. There is a rise in the domestic violences also. With both partners working, there is always a chance of them clashing with each other. This clash is due to the fact that now also man is considered powerful and the sole breadwinner of the family. But when women start earning more than their partners, well, then the man feel neglected and it hurts their ego. This clash in men's ego gives rise to violence on women. There is also a rise of divorce rates compared to the earlier times. Due to rise in divorces and domestic violence, the proportion of single-member household is also rising. This is believed to be so because the states which have got a higher level of urbanization tend to have a higher proportion of single-member household. In very recent times, there is also a rise in rapes. All age group of women are getting affected by this new trend. This is because the moral values inculcated by the child when young is disappearing. The old value system is completely getting lost. In olden times, women were considered equal to God and were respected. Now no such value is attached to women anymore. Problems faced by elders. With the fall of the joint family, the elder people get affected as well. They are being considered a burden in the modern Indian family. This new change is because both the partners are working and nobody has the time in this new fast moving life to take care of the old and the aged. Hence, these people in India are suffering at the hands of their own family members. A new concept has set into our society that was unheard of in olden times. It is sending their old parents to old age homes to be taken care of. This was and is seen only in the West, where the members of the family had no strong ties and connection. This has been copied by us from the West. Depression and suicides. Due to pressures in life and not being able to face them, depression and suicides have become very common. One can hear so many instances of them happening on a daily basis in India. This is because of lack of support system from their parents and friends. These days, people do not like to take the support of their friends and family members. Hence, they feel depressed when the pressure is increasing. Consumerism. With the change in culture in India, one can see that people have become more materialistic in nature. A new trend is seen in this. That trend is buying goods for consuming purpose. This has been seen as a drastic cultural change. It could be because of the influence of Western countries in India and the development of technology. People have started getting manufactured goods easily available in the market. Multimedia has helped in the growth of this cultural trend. Disorganization problems due to the cultural change. Crime is on the rise these days. In olden days, people were happy with their small belongings and there were no electronic gadgets that were very costly. It was only after the industrialization and modernization that this new culture of acquiring modern, costly gadgets became a necessity. This is due to the fact that material growth of men is given more importance. This inequality in wealth leads to crime and corruption among people. Some of the other reasons are degeneration of moral values. The young generation people are so influenced by the West that they do not even know how to respect their elders and have started questioning their parents. Alcoholism and drug addiction can be the second. They believe in night parties and use of alcohol has increased. Consumption of drugs have also increased among the young youth. Due to the influence of these two, the youth of today get involved in fights and crimes. Juvenile delinquency. Do you know who is a juvenile? Well, a juvenile is a person who is under the age of 18 and is still considered a child. But when this child turns to crime of any sort, he becomes a juvenile delinquent. This can be seen among children these days. It could be because of the change in the family system. Some children at a very early age run away from homes because they find it difficult to stay, as one of the parents would have divorced and remarried and they would have undergone abuses of all kinds. Usually these children come from broken families, and some of them because of poverty and on the lookout of jobs in cities. These children would not have been given proper guidance at home. Remedies. Culture is something that is learned by society. Hence, in a country like India, it is very difficult to bring a drastic change in the cultural aspects. But yes, we can try to some extent. One way could be by having more about India's culture in the textbooks in schools and colleges so as to educate the youngsters about the uniqueness of our culture. We need to understand the positive and negative aspects of different cultures and take the positive aspects from other cultures and nurture the positive aspects of ours. One should also have regular workshops in schools, colleges where the children get more knowledge and understand the importance of our culture. The government should encourage more cultural programs that portray our culture. Conclusion. As we conclude this chapter, dear students, it would be good to contemplate and analyze all the things that have been discussed so far. This is a very serious problem that we as Indians are facing. These changes are like betraying our old way of life which we obtained through our ancestors. Updating and being modern and having modern outlook on life are necessary for us to grow and excel ourselves. But getting influenced by the West and losing our identity is wrong. We should change according to the times, but not to the extent of changing the whole society and culture to suit the needs of the West. If this continues, it will not be far away when this beautiful Indian civilization would be buried not by others but by us. Then we should not blame the West for this change. One should also keep in mind that in recent times, the West is so impressed by our culture, our dress, our cuisine, our family ties, etc., that they have started copying our ways of life. Hence, we should keep that in mind and change for the betterment, but not for the worst. We should always remember that we should always try to keep our culture intact. And that is our unique identity which tells other countries that we are Indians and that we are different from others.